Hi guys, welcome to MediaBite. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you like horror movies just like I do, I have a really hard time making this horror movie top 5 list. So this may be my top 5 now, but some films may come in, some films may go out. That just depends on the time and when you ask me. So make sure you stick around to see our list. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at MediaBiteCo and Instagram is at MediaBiteCompany. And with that, let's get started. Number 5 is Jaws. I think Jaws is the perfect fit for this spot because while absolutely terrifying, it isn't as terrifying as a few of the other spots on this list, so I think that it fits perfectly here. If you don't know, first off, Jaws basically created the summer blockbuster as we know it. It follows Martin Brody as the local police chief on his first summer there when he noticed a string of shark attacks and must close down the beach on July 4th, even though the mayor of the town is telling him that he absolutely should not attempt to close the beach and actually stops them from doing so until someone ends up being killed by a shark. This movie is so scary. It genuinely terrified me as a kid to the point where I had a very hard time getting back into the water, regardless of what water it was, a bath, a swimming pool, anything. To be fair, I also have the same issue with Psycho and the shower, so horror movies and my personal hygiene are sworn enemies, apparently. Number 4 is The Blair Witch Project. This is probably my most biased answer on this list, because where this was filmed at and takes place isn't incredibly far from where I live, and this was really the first horror movie I'd ever heard of, and the surrounding mythos and legends that surround this film truly made me realize just how much I loved horror movies and storytelling as in general. I won't spoil anything about this film because it's best left as unspoiled as you possibly can, but either way, the basic plot beats are that there's 3 people who go to film a documentary in the woods about the Blair Witch, a local legend of the area, and then horror ensues. Number 3 is The Shining. I genuinely struggled between putting this film at either the third or the first spot. The second spot is taken for sort of a very specific reason, but either way, The Shining is a masterclass of filmmaking, as I believe that all of the films on this list are. This film surrounds the Torrance family as Jack Torrance, the father, becomes a caretaker of a hotel up in the mountains during the winter. A lot happens in this film, but people go crazy, other people have axes, the hotel is haunted, maybe. There's a lot in this movie that happens. Potentially one of the best horror films of all time. I honestly was struggling to put these top 5 films in kind of any kind of direction, because these are all films I consider the best of the genre in some way or the other, especially considering the fact that in all honesty, any of these films could have been anywhere in the order and I probably wouldn't have been that upset. Number 2 is The Exorcist. The Exorcist is the number 2 spot. For me, this film could possibly be the number 1 spot over the film I did put there, but the issue for me was, for people who didn't grow up religious or have become understanding of religion kind of early, I'm not sure how scary this movie would have been, but it really does scare me because of growing up with the idea of the devil and that kind of thing, being kind of easily implanted into my brain, so the ideas of demonic possession as a whole terrifies me. If you've never seen this movie before, the film is about a little girl who gets possessed by a demon, and a priest whose job it is to perform an exorcism and demonic things begin to happen. If you like horror movies, this is definitely one of the films I would watch, and then look deep kind of into the behind the scenes, how it happened, kind of just the general filmmaking of this film. Number 1 is Halloween. I'm putting this here for many reasons. Not only because this film is incredibly and easily one of the best films of all time, I also think that the setting of this movie makes it truly feel as iconic as it was, because the movie itself surrounds itself around Halloween. That and the fact that it helped popularize slashers as a whole. If you don't know anything about this movie, first off, go watch it as soon as you can, you should. The film follows a woman who is babysitting and her friends are also babysitting, and slowly they become picked off one by one. Again, there's much more to this film, but that's just kind of a little taste of Halloween, and I don't want you to get anything spoiled for this. So don't get anything spoiled for Halloween. Watch it as soon as you possibly can. Well, that is my list. Thank you all for watching. If you disagree, please politely put your list in the comments down below. I'd love reading all of your comments and anything you guys say. If you want to give us any amount of money on Patreon, I would be more than happy. There's no pressure, but if you want to give any dollar, anything you want, it would mean the world to me. It's at MediaBite Company on TikTok, Threads, and Instagram. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you all in the next one. Peace.